public defender. The case you're about to witness is a true one taken from the files of a public defender's office. A public defender is an attorney employed by your community to give legal aid to any person financially unable to retain counsel. Tonight's case concerns one of the most frightening problems we face today. As you watch, remember one thing, that the answer lies with you, and only with you. Rhode Island, 800,000 people, 1,200 square miles. The smallest state in the Union, but not too small for this.
All right, Adams. Why?
I don't know, sir.
I don't know is an answer I'm getting too often these days. Do you consider that a proper answer to why you have been absent 5 days so far this month with no excuse?
I guess so.
Do you consider that an intelligent explanation? Your school record will follow you through the rest of your life. You know that. Arrested 6 months ago. Misdemeanor. Probation granted. Doesn't seem to have done much good, does it? What are you trying to prove? Who are you trying to hurt, Peter?
Nobody, sir.
Is that all you've got to say?
Guess so.
You don't leave me any alternative, Adams. You are suspended from this school. I want to see your father and mother as soon as possible. Tell them that. That's all. Miss Riker, get me Mr. Matthews at the public defender's office, please.
Suspended? What is it with that kid? How does he have to do things like this to me? It's hard enough to make a living. I gotta have this, too.
Mr. Adams.
Look, Mr. Matthews, I'm sorry. I appreciate you defended him before. Got him off on probation. But I don't understand it. I'm not a bum, not a criminal. I'm an honest man. I work for a living. I go to church. I'm secretary of the lodge. How can a son of mine do things like this?
That's not exactly a new question.
A beating, is that what he needs? All his life, I never laid a hand on him. Maybe that's where I made a mistake.
I don't think that's the answer.
You got an answer? I'd be glad to hear it.
Well, do you spend much time with the boy? Have you tried talking to him to find out what's bothering him?
I tried like you told me 6 months ago. Took him to ball games, bowling, tried to get close to him. Does it look to you like it helped?
I see. Well, I'm sorry to have bothered you at work, Mr. Adams, but Pete wasn't at home, and it's important that I see him. This suspension has become a violation of probation.
I don't even know where to tell you to look.
I'll take a look in that shack over on Charles. Pete wouldn't be the first boy who's used it for a hangout.
Kids. Go figure 'em. Knock your brains out to give them a nice home. They'd rather hang out in some shack.
Maybe there's a reason, Mr. Adams.
What?
Maybe they find something there they don't get at home.
What's the federal case? You gonna call or ain't you?
Well, let me think.
Start thinking, we'll never get finished.
You boys seen Pete Adams?
Who wants to know, mister?
My name's Matthews.
Well, good for you.
I ask about Pete Adams.
He ain't here.
I can see that. I asked you if you had seen him.
No.
You boys going into business? If you've got anything in mind, you better not miss your first try.
Oh, you got me all wrong, mister.
Tell Pete Adams to get in touch with me as soon as you see him. Isn't your name Vince Fulton?
You heard of me, huh?
Yeah. I thought you were still doing time at Howard.
I got 6 months off for good behavior. And I'm reporting to my parole officer regular. What's happened to this place since I've been away? Anybody can walk in here.
Oh, gee, Vince, it ain't our fault.
Why don't you talk to Pete?
Talk to me about what?
We don't like the company you got looking for you. Like that Matthews. What are you doing, giving out passes?
Oh, wait a minute, that's not my fault.
Who are you gonna bring next, the cops?
Well, look, if that's the way you feel, there are other fellas to hang out with.
Pete, wait a minute. Al? Got a big mouth for a kid, Al.
Oh, fellas!
All right. Everybody through griping?
I only meant it.
I said you got a big mouth. Now, listen to me. Let's concentrate on doing ourselves some good instead of all this griping off.
Sure, Vince, you're the boss.
That's right. None of you knotheads ever heard of the Star Depot?
You mean that trucking place?
Yeah, only it ain't a trucking place, it's a depot. A place where trucks come down from Maine and stay overnight so the drivers can sleep.
What about it?
Do I have to draw you a map? I said the trucks stay there all night. Now, we shouldn't let those poor loaded trucks stay there doing nobody no good.
Oh, you're so right.
What are the trucks carrying, Vince?
Merchandise, canned good, cases of it.
You mean heist them?
Who miss a few?
Now, wait a minute, fellas. I don't
You
think...
don't think what, Buster?
Nothing.
That's better. Now, where was I?
Oh, we were just stealing the vegetables. Then what do we do with them?
We fence them. So what's wrong with that? Somebody gets a good deal, we make a few bucks, and nobody gets hurt. Simple, huh?
Yeah, but how do we get in the depot? There's a big wire fence around it.
Do I have to do all of your thinking for you? We boost one of us over the fence. Pete, he's the smallest. Unless you're Chicken Pete.
You ain't saying anything, Pete.
Are you Chicken Pete?
No. No, I ain't. I ain't chicken.
Cream? Please.
Sugar?
No, thanks. Now, to get back to your boy, Mrs. Adams, it's important that I talk to him.
I don't understand Pete doing these things, Mr. Matthews. I just don't understand any of it.
Now, you say he hasn't been home all evening.
He's never done anything like this before. Never stayed out past dinner. I'm worried sick. I was just going out to look for him.
You were going out? Well, what about his father?
Oh, he had an important lodge meeting tonight. You see, he's secretary. Oh, I know what you're thinking, Mr. Matthews, but it isn't like that. The lodge is important to him, and he works hard all day, and he's entitled to a little thing like that.
Yes, of course. Now, about this thing between Pete and his father, this feeling. I wonder if you could tell me something about it, something that would help to explain.
I don't know, Mr. Matthews. I really don't know how it gets started. They both try, but something always seems to happen. Like the thing that happened one night last week. Pete was working on a ship mount. His father was going to his lodge, and he'd just gone into the kitchen to get a drink of water.